Welcome back. This one will conclude our series on Kyons. Number 10. When you practice number 10, please bear in mind safety aspect. Don't assume anything. So if you've not trained with a person before, be very careful. Make sure you ask them, say, do you know how to do a breakfall? And if you're still in doubt, then say, well, can you demonstrate one or do something? I know that Sensei Kerry can do a breakfall because she used to do Aikido, so I'm quite comfortable with throwing Kerry everywhere. So yeah, I'm sure he can look after himself. I won't be doing the breakfalls. I've still got not much confidence in my joint at the moment. It is getting there, but last thing I want to do is do a breakfall using my right foot, having a knock-on effect to my hip. And I most probably won't be moving as smoothly as I should, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But in essence, we'll have a go. Yeah. And again, when you're practicing this Kyon, try and do the moves up to the throw. You don't have to do the throw every time. And make sure you practice on mats when you're doing this, because the throw, the shock. And I hate to admit it, but we're all getting older. So if you can reduce the amount of throws and the amount of shock to the body, then I'm sure your uke would appreciate it. So the main thing is to get up to the throw. And when you do the throw, possibly let go, and he should be in that position. So reduce the amount of shocks to your uke. Yeah, for once I'm being kind to Sensei Kerry. Okay, so let's crack on. Yeah, okay. So, quite complex. We've learnt before, Tate Seishan, we use this, if you can see it on the video, there's a centre line. You move off centre line. But I'm not going to go back on it for the for the next uke, because this one is going to come across. You only need this movement. If you can think of a cone, so if there's a point there which is, can you use your sensei? So, okay, if we can think of a cone, so coming from sensei's chest and coming out to cover my body, or from there coming out to cover my head, the closer I am to the point, the less I have to move, because this will carry on along the side of the cone. So you don't have to sword fight, you don't have to do a great big move. You only have to think this small movement. Cone coming towards me, so here, so punch coming this way, just a small movement. Thank you. Okay. So, let's talk about Tate Seishan. We're going to move the back leg for the first, but we're keeping on the line. This has now given me a Tate Seishan at this angle. And this is the attack angle. So I don't want to lose it. So that when I come in with the MP, knuckle, MP, that all in that direction. Reason why? Yeah, so he's in tate. So when I do my attack, I want to be not going against his back leg because he's quite strong. Yeah, I'll be wanting to here. Okay, so that's the direction. Knee. MP. Yeah. Strike. Strike here is with this knuckle, but it's hidden because you're trying to grab. You're going to utilize it. So you've got the grab and you've got the knuckle protruding. Yeah. And while you've got them there, they've spread their ribs. So it's a good chance to do your MP because they're spread. The ribs are spread. Okay. So next one is you need to get your elbow up. So it's a tunnel so that you can take your body through. Yeah, it's no good just doing a small movement and then ducking to go underneath. You need to do up. We've all done it, Seishan. So it's a similar sort of move. Then you use your sonobate, your hip, your foot will automatically go to the right place. So, same time, backhand to the groin. That allows you then the direction to go to. So you need to make opportunities. You have to create a pathway, a safe pathway through. So this way to set up my direction, but this one's coming in. So a small move. Moving in. Sonobade. Don't forget the leg as well. Yeah. This elbow, same time as you do sonobade. That then gives you the path through to get your position for the throw. What we talk in throws, I've seen so many variations. And because my ailment is not quite 100%, I've had quite an armory of different ways to throw people. And this one today was the most comfortable. So if you're getting older, just pick one that it's nothing's written in stone that you have to do the throw in a certain way. I've always said if a technique in karate is good, then it's good, no matter how you do it. Yeah, you can always tell a bad technique or some technique that's lacking. Yeah, that's why you do gradings. That's why you have advice from your sensei. So if your sensei doesn't do it this way, listen to him. Yeah, these are just other opportunities. So the various types that I've seen for the throws is, and I wished I could do it, is obviously Sensei Shimizu just basically he just melted underneath you. Where's he gone? And he'd be right down there in a real small ball and bang, you would be on the floor. Yeah, the other ones I've seen is where you go really deep, push back again, and push again, making distance away from the attacker. Yeah, the way I first learned it was off Takamazawa Sensei, and he was already a Dan grade in judo. So guess what? He did a judo throw. He didn't go down on the floor because he was low enough to get change that. Sorry, we're doing it. He used to get sort of under the hip and throw. So change that. Sorry. Shall we come around this way? So, yeah, Gakuzuki. Yeah. So and grab. So he would go in, pull, and there would be the hip throw. I've even seen him do where the leg takes. Yeah. Some of you will gentleness. That's it. Some of you will go for the grab. Yeah, the grab and the stopping of the kick. Yeah. Thanks. Stop there. Because I've got short arms, a big chest. If I grab, I'm limiting myself, and I find I'm really struggling. I wish my arms were longer. I wish my legs were longer. But we have to deal with what God's given us. So, if you keep your hand open, I've seen several high grades doing open hand. Yeah. You think, well, we're not stopping anything, but we are. Because if they do it to Kerry, can you see it deflecting it like a snowplow? So it's not that I'm not doing anything with it, but it's allowing me now to slip through. There's not an anchorage position. I'm allowing myself to flow. So whichever you want, you leave it open, grab. The throw is all dependent on your age, your size, your weight. Yeah, whichever one works for you. So don't be restricted. Don't think, oh, that doesn't work. Try a few other bits and pieces. Even seeing when they go down and this leg comes right the way round. To take both legs. If you can get that one, I have seen somebody do that, and what a beautiful movement it was. So don't be restricted. Don't be tunneled into thinking, oh, there's one way. There's several different ways. If it's a good technique, it's a good technique. Yeah? But try and work round and try and work with the Yuki. Yeah? Make sure he can do a break fall. If you're practicing this regular and you want to do it, then do a forward roll out of it. That's far easier than doing the break fall on the heel. Yeah, do a roll. Until you want to do one, you know, how you would do it for your grading. Yeah, where you're practicing for the break fall, using the right leg up and hands. So if you can get the technique up to here, yeah, and the guys, one, down, strike, elbow, hit, through and down. If you want to stop there, practice different ways. You don't have to throw them. You've already took their balance. So make number 10 enjoyable. No, oh no, we're practicing number 10 tonight. Yeah, make sure it's enjoyable. So yeah, lots of points to think about.
So, number 10, as Sensei has mentioned, you need to be confident and have a reasonable skill level in your break falls if you're going to do the full technique as uke. It's worth putting the effort in to work on your break fall skills. It's referred to as ukemi. Uke, as what people mistakenly call block, a more accurate translation is receive. And ukemi is literally receive the floor. So instead of being afraid of going to the floor, work on your skills so that you're comfortable and confident. You're trying to sort of hit the floor in multiple points. So it's not one area taking the entire hit. You roll along multiple points. And that takes some of the impact out of it. Obviously, if you've got mats, better still. I would limit the amounts you do on a hard floor. It's useful to be able to do it on a hard floor because the streets are hard if you ever need to use the technique. So it's a good skill to have, but for multiple practice, use the mats. As Sensei mentioned, as he was discussing it, I was tossing it up. We've got a combined age of 126. So, you know, the amount of time you want to be bounced on the floor and rolling around the floor is probably not so much. If you're still at the age where you're made from rubber and magic, you know, you chop your arm off and tomorrow morning you'll have grown another one, great. That's the time to get all this practice in and get these skills in. As you start getting on a bit, you might want to not do so much. And it's not so much the rolling, you find it's the getting off the floor that's the most difficult part. It's quite a straightforward technique as far as the attack is concerned. Again, you need some intent and some distance, but after that, you're just a target for various techniques. So you're just waiting your time until you need to do the ukemi, do the break fall. There is, as Sensei mentioned, like an official way for grading various foot positions. You know, sock a toe on the floor and a live back foot, and using your techniques to get up cover positions, etc., etc. But for most general training, get comfortable with ukemi and your break fall techniques. And as Sensei mentioned, once you get a little bit of skill and proficient and you're not scared of it, you can actually do the technique and quite enjoy it. But certainly use some mats if you've got them.
So what does, Kihon Committee number 10 mean to me? There's a throw. So it's highlighting the jiu-jitsu part, the throwing aspect. So it's combining your karate with your jiu-jitsu, making sure you're working around your center, trying to disrupt his center, trying to make the throw, the movements as fluid as possible, not jerky. So the smoother you can get the move, the better. Not only the tori, but the uke as well, making sure that's smooth. Yeah, it's quite an involved technique. Sometimes it's quite rare that we go through it because you need mats. You really do for this technique. So if you go on a course and it's a huge hall, then you're not going to have this facility. I think when we used to go on the summer courses with Takamezawa Sensei, he would split the class up into possibly 6 areas and split each group into doing certain, one would be doing locks, the other one would be doing with a mat, whatever techniques they needed, the other one doing some sparring, so they broke the class up so you could have an area of mats to practice your break falls, to practice number 10, to practice whichever one to do it. And while we're on courses, we have a course in July the 16th in West Bromwich, 2022. So if you do get a chance to come along, that would be really good to meet you and to train together. So yeah. Next on the agenda is, I know some of you have requested us to cover oil committees. We're still discussing that one. Can be a little bit political, but I'm sure we can possibly do something. I'm not fully convinced yet, but we're going to have a go, I think. We can justify it. We can always find justification for something, can't we? So I hope you've enjoyed the Kions. Forgive my hip on some of the movements. Maybe I can go and read back and revisit these in the future, you know, when I'm slightly more proficient, when I'm over 70. So yeah, let's do it. Hey, thank you.